Hi folks, welcome back out to the shop. It is part two of this knife I'm building for myself from a butcher's course. And yeah, as per normal, my depression's making things so that I've got a really tight timeline. It's Saturday today. I was hoping to knock out most of the grinding. Really had trouble getting moving today, so I'm out here and hopefully I can get the flats done. If I can, I'll get into the bevels, but it just depends on timing. Don't want to grind too late. I've got young neighbours next door, so yeah, I try to knock off my grinding by about 8 o'clock, 8:30ish, and it's about 20 past 6 at the moment. So let's see what we get done. Using my awesome surface grinder from 84 Engineering. Absolutely love this thing. It is saving me immense amounts of time. You just mount it up on the plate and pull it up and down. Yeah, absolutely loving this thing. It is absolutely awesome. Yeah, great work from Ewan as per normal. My little grinders, the 84 Engineering 60-inch, I'm looking at changing it out to 72, which means I've got to get all my arms changed over, non-standard parts. But when I move to America, the belts that I get, the 60-inch belts, are going to be really hard to get. 72s are much more common, so I've got to extend all the arms out to try and make it 72. Bob's come out to keep me company tonight, but he thought he saw a mouse, so he's busy tonight. Aren't you, buddy? Yeah. All right, let's get into it. That's the carbon scoring cleaned up off the first side. All nice and shiny. Other side's still really carbonated, so clean that platen off. Make sure we got no dust underneath. And off we go on the second side. Now, because this point grinds up on the wheel rather than grinding on the flat, I can skip belts a fair bit. So I'm going straight up from the 40 to a 120. Because the belt's a little thicker, I've just got to bring the height up. Just till I get that little bit of movement. Use a marker. Just mark that side. That way I can tell when I've got to the low points of the grind. Marker all cleaned off, so we know we're down to the low points of the grind, and we can flip over and clean this side up. Okay, next up we're changing to a 240. Again, a little thinner of belt. So just adjust until I can just get that tiny little bit of scratching. Now, for any of the safety nannies out there, Bob's not wearing his hearing and eye protection, but as much as I try and convince him, I just can't get him to wear them. and try and find a breathing mask for a dog. A 240 grit on both sides. At this stage it's starting to get a little bit warm. As you can see, it's not hot, but it's starting to get a bit warm. That's a bit uncomfortable to the hand, so now I'll quench it. The good thing about using this with the point grinding is it does not put the same amount of heat flat grinding on the platen does, so much better for the temper of the blade. Okay, after grinding the edges and the flats, we're sitting at about 20 past 7, so I've still got some time. So we're gonna make a start at least on the bevels. So just blackening off with a texture, just so I can see my marks. And then use my awesome little jig here. I got this at a knife show, and I've been asked before where I got it from. It was at a knife show. I do not remember the name of the maker, so unfortunately I can't help anyone to find one, but I love it. Now this jig came from Creative Man. They have changed their name now and I can't think of it off the top of my head, but yeah, absolutely love this jig. It's pretty sweet. The file guide built into it means you're working up against the file guide, so nice, neat, easy, consistent. Flips side for side. Yeah, it just works well. I'd maybe like the file guide to be able to go in at the end, so more of the blade was along the jig, but you know, you can't have everything, and the design he's come up with is pretty good. People ask what angle I grind on. I've got no idea. I just grind it so it looks right. I do a lot of my stuff by eye, not by measurement, so I just work with what looks right. So I'll start grinding as I come down to the line. I'll check it, see how far up I've come on the blade, see whether I need to increase the angle or decrease the angle a little, and just adjust it as I go. And for all the folks that think by putting it in a file guide, that's it, you know, there's no skill involved after that. If you have a look here, the cut deepens down here, and it's very shallow at this end. So I've got to adjust that cutting as I go, and yeah, it takes a bit of time to develop the skill to adjust it. Putting it in a file guide's not the be all and end all. That's it, you never need to learn anything again. It's not an automatic grinder. There's that first side ground into shape. As you can see, a lot more consistent on that bevel now. The tip here on something so rounded tends to get a little bit narrower. That's fine, rather than fight it and try and clean it up and have it perfectly consistent. I'm just gonna go with that. The thickness is pretty good, and it's a knife for me. Depends how much footage I put in. Lots of quenches, because I'm grinding with a really rough belt, grinding hard, grinding fast. Want to keep the temperature down a fair bit, so lots of quenching on it. Okay, spin it around, lock it on the other direction, and the same on this side. What I try and aim for is about 1 millimeter as my final thickness here, especially on a knife like this, which I want a really robust edge on it. If it was a chef's knife, I might go a little bit finer, down about 0.5 millimeter. But yeah, I'm aiming for about 1 millimeter when I finish this first coarse grind, and that'll refine a bit as I go with the next grinds. Got a little bit of a oopsie up here where I put a bit too much pressure on it. As I said, putting it in a grinding guide does not guarantee it's going to be perfect. That's fine, we'll work through the grits, and I may need to go back a grit to try and pull that line back a bit straighter. We'll just see what happens as I go through the grits, whether it pulls that out or whether I need to go back a grit doing flats and try and pull it out that way. Don't need a pencil marker this time. We got that rust. This is 1084, so dipping it in the water with the heat forms a little bit of rust, and that'll show me when I've cleaned it off. We have a lovely satin finished blade. So I'll put the maker's mark on it, and then I will grind it back again after I put the maker's mark on, just to clean them around the maker's mark, and that'll only just be the 600 again. Last step for this stage is putting the maker's mark on. I absolutely love these vinyl ones that I got off Ben from Wildfire. Much better, less bleed through than the reusable ones I was using. Now you can make them yourself if you've got a cry cut or something like that. I don't, and there comes a point where you realize there's only so many hobbies a man can have, and you need to stop taking on new hobbies. Hopefully soon I'll realize that. But yeah, for me it's easier just to order these and get them done. Now, as with everything, I do have other videos showing the exact process of how to do it. But basically we're just using salt water and electricity, and we're just etching the mark. We're just taking some metal out. You can see the waste that comes up on here. That's actually rust. Now again, it's one of those things that in makers groups, the question gets asked, why do you put a maker's mark on? They're not registered or anything like that. It's not about that. I've had people ask me for designs that I wasn't willing to do. I wasn't willing to put my mark on them. Basically anything that leaves my house gets my mark. It means I'm proud of my work. It's not an ego thing or anything like that. I made quite a few knives, so chances are at the moment I remember all of them. If I see something come in with my mark that someone wants sharpened or something like that, then I know it's something that I've done. It's also a little bit of pride in your work. Marking it as yours means that you think it's the best you can do at that time. Doesn't mean it's the best knife on the market. It means it's the best quality work you could do at the time you made it. It doesn't take long at all. There we go, all etched. So I'll take the sticker off and just wash it clean. Right, so there's our mark. As I said, using the vinyl ones, there's no bleed through. It's a nice clean mark. Nothing off the edges or anything like that. All right, well, I'll probably cut this video off here. Looks like this one's going to be a 3-part series. I'm enjoying making this a series. I used to do them as series. But yeah, I'm enjoying doing this one as a series, because when I do the short, sort of one that I'm just showing it to you, I don't get to talk. So yeah, this is a little bit of fun. We've probably got one more part to come with the bolster, the handle, and also the sheath. That finish work's awfully important, and that's what makes or breaks the knife. All right, thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.